Good evening, everyone. We may be a minute early. The clock is about 4 minutes slow, so it's virtually 7:30. Happy New Year to all of you. We have hopefully a good year ahead of us, and one in which we can maybe get one or two things moving forward. Certainly a couple of newer members are seeming very enthusiastic, so I will try to make certain that we use them as well as is possible. So no, thank you for coming out this evening. Weather's slightly better, so it's not too cold. So without further ado, I will move on to apologies for absence.
I have apologies from County Councillor Collar.
Any declarations of interest? Right. 3, the resignation of Councillor Wright.
Yes, we received by email the resignation of Lynn Wright as councillor. DDC Democratic Services were informed and the proper notification was put up. The period of notice, official notice, has ended today without any requirement for an election, and so I have received notice that we may go ahead and co-opt.
Wonderful. Good. Thank you, Andrew. You've all received a copy of the minutes of the previous meeting. Could I have a proposer and seconder for those, please? Pauline, thank you. Yes, thank you. Right, and matters arising from those. Just one, well, a couple that I wanted to mention. Speedwatch. At the meeting before last, we met and I was asked by Christian and Chris to make available to Christian the Speedwatch equipment from Mary, which I did. She contacted me a couple of times and said, well, it's still not being collected, but basically that agreement is there. I don't know if it's been collected yet.
I had a chat with her in December, and we said we'd just get together in January just to talk about things. Maybe we can keep her on with it. You know, I just want to know what's going on.
No, I thought.
Doesn't she just return it?
Well,
to Andrew, as simple as that.
No, sorry, it's in there. She's been looking after it. They've been keeping the thing charged up.
The thing is that she's running the Speedwatch team, and she's on all the. It's not that easy. She's on all the websites with her email address logged in. So I can't just get the equipment. I can't do anything without it, with it.
Right, sorry.
I need to have training to put this up,
but
to upload my findings.
Sorry, if I could say, I was asked to make it available to you, and I did exactly what I was asked. Chris, I thought you were aware, but because you and Christian were quite keen to take it over and to run with it, I'm more than happy to collect the equipment from Mary. It's just over the road for me.
I just simply need a bit more. That's the problem. I need training to deal with it.
Yep.
And that, yeah.
We're
so
accessing the website properly and things like that.
Because she is the admin of this team, and she needs to hand that either over or keep it. Be in charge.
Well, sorry, if
yeah.
I don't think Mary is keen to keep it on, otherwise she and Robin would have been doing it. She's been doing lots of other things in the village that she's happy to do. Robin is amazing, but I don't want to go to Mary and say, please will you do it, because she would be doing it if she was happy to do it.
I just have a chat with her then next week and see how we can get these accounts over, because at the moment I just don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm perfectly happy again to speak to her.
Because I emailed Speedwatch a few times and said what we're going to do, what's happening here, and I said always go back to the admin, which is Mary. You need to speak to your admin.
There is one point, Mr. Chairman, that's worth making, that it doesn't have to be a parish council that runs this.
No.
Any group of full of well-minded sort of people in a village or a suburb can set themselves up and do it. It's unusual, perhaps, but the thing that I believe would be the answer here would be to for somebody to speak to Mary and ask her if she is interested in continuing with Speedwatch. And if she's indifferent or says no, problem solved.
Right, what I will do, I will speak to Mary. I spoke to her and arranged that she would put it to one side. She wasn't upset with that. My worry was that she may take umbrage. She didn't. They had stopped doing it. She was doing it even though she wasn't a parish councillor, and was doing it extremely well. So I will have a word with Mary. I will find out if she's interested. If not, I will pick up the equipment, and I will then be looking for a couple of volunteers, be they parish councillors or non-parish councillors, that would then possibly take over the Speedwatch operation.
Fine.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Right.
I mean, training was, Clive, you done the training,
Yeah.
but we never been trained to upload it to the system.
No, we have not.
Yeah.
Right. That's that one. You've all got them. I don't know if there's. That was one particular I wanted just to clear up, that I had done what I've been asked to do. But I don't think there's anything else on there, unless anyone else can spot it, that isn't covered by the minutes. Okay.
Actually, can I bring up
Yeah,
one thing?
of course you can.
At the last meeting, I was supposed to chase Kent Highways about the London Road traffic survey.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I didn't before Christmas, so apologies for that. I have now, so hopefully I will get a
You
date
get a
pretty
reply.
soon. But I will send the information around about the date as soon as I get it.
The parish emergency plan. Did you update? Did you send us all a copy?
Oh, did I not?
I've got
Send
it.
you-
Is that the one that I?
Yeah, you've got all of
Yeah,
it, but I
we'd
didn't.
like to go
I
through
think
it,
I was going to send.
Yeah, no, sorry, I just as I'm sitting here, I can see it says, and I thought, well, I've not seen that. Yep.
Right, I'll.
Yep.
Hardly there.
Under para 107 B, which Lynn Wright had reported about that light on the steps of the cat. I made a point of walking down again tonight, as it was a nice night, and that light is still out.
Right, okay.
I just tried to check my, I did photograph it, but the number hasn't come out very well on it. So I'll check it again on my way home and make a note of the number, but on the photograph it's not, the identification number hasn't come out, unfortunately. But I suspect what they do, they come along in the daylight, because it's darkness operated, they come along in the daylight, they check the base, there's a power source there, and then, oh, nothing wrong with it. Night, it doesn't light up, and it's up the top, not down the bottom. I mean, the thing is, it's, that particular light is just at the top of the steps, as you're going, probably the most critical one of the lot.
So, have we reported that? Are we going to report it? Or
I
re-report it?
I
or-
don't know if it's been reported. If once
I've done it
once I've got the
some
number,
time
I'll.
ago, and I'm probably talking about
Would
2
you like
years
to
ago.
remind them then,
Yeah.
and let them know that it's the bulb we believe that
Yeah,
needs.
it's the top end rather
Yeah,
than
not-
the power source.
Yes. Yep. Right. We moved on, that was item 5. We're on 6 to receive reports from district and county councillors.
I have a couple of items which Councillor Collar phoned in for me. Nothing very much. He said that the draft budget for KCC will be out very soon, and obviously you've heard in the news discussions about devolution. But he said there's nothing to report at the moment, no update on what's been in the news.
Okay. Reports from the parish councillors. Passing round the table. Clive?
No.
Mike?
My meeting with Whitecliffe's Countryside Partnership about their new project for funding from the EA from the Dow has been postponed from January to February the 18th, so I've got nothing else to add today.
Right.
But I will be able to update by email. I think the 18th will be after our February meeting, won't it?
Yes, yes.
So I will circulate after that meeting with them, okay?
Yes.
On the 18th of February.
Lovely. What I would say is I spoke to Mike as we were walking back from the recreation ground with regard to this coming year, and I just said to Mike I would like, if we could, to get once again involved in trying to in some way enhance, help, sort out the river. It's something that Mike was very keen on doing. We started, and the one scheme we did unfortunately fell at the very last hurdle, didn't it?
It did, yes,
But basically I want this year to be one where we take things on as a parish council and try to get some definite steps forward for the village.
One key element of that is I think I dropped you a note, Andrew, about having an association with both Alcombe and Temple Ewell parish councils, because the River Down is very much a tale of two rivers, with apologies to Charles Dickens here, tale of two cities, because it's very much viewed Upper and Lower Down, and all of the investment and funding goes to the Lower Down, not the Upper Down. I think we'll have although a lot of that's been mended because of our new relationship with Whitecliffe's, I do feel that if we can have a second voice with Alcombe and Temple Ewell, because frankly what happens in the river, what goes on upstream affects us directly. So that's I would like to try and find some contact details rather than just simply getting them off the internet of names, if I can, to start that before our next meeting in February.
Yep. Okay. Right. Certainly the Alcombe, I don't know if the chairman's still the same, but
yeah, he was good, wasn't he?
yeah, he was very good, yes. And I certainly, as a district councillor, then got on well with him. But I'll see if there's any contacts I've got there. Temple Ewell is closer, but I must admit, I don't know.
Well, it's Andy Howard Grigg is the clerk, and the chairman I think still is. I can't remember his name. I think he's been chairman for a number of years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
they
yeah.
tend to change.
But I mean, if we've got some first-hand names for Mike, would be enough. Yeah.
Very helpful.
Yeah, thank you very much. Chris?
Afraid I must be repeating myself. Again, the speeding issues on the top road. So I look forward to the report that we might get eventually from KCC. Now they did a good road resurfacing job up there. Was it about 2 years ago? But it's starting to show fair bit of wear and tear. I think that's probably because of the number of heavy trucks that still come down that road. And apart from that, there's the cat light, which has already been mentioned.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
So I attended the councillors training just before Christmas, and I just wanted to ask a question around when was the last time we did any kind of consultation with the community, or how do we do that as a parish council, because that was something that came out quite strongly in the training. Just out of interest.
Yeah, we haven't done anything formal for many years now. We had a community day, I think it was 2016, when all of the local groups and societies were given a chance to present themselves at the village hall as a kind of way of people getting to know what facilities and what groups were available. But no, as I understand it, we haven't done any formal consultation for many years. Yeah.
Okay, but that, I mean, I'm quite interested in exploring that. That's sort of part of my background anyway. So
Yep.
that would be.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see real interest in what we do within the village. If it weren't for Mr. Hall sitting there, we would be absolutely alone. And I mean, it really is very sad. A lot of people have lots of things to say, but they never come here, or they moan about everything and things that the parish council is limited in what it can do. And it's very frustrating. Everyone says, we'll sort the buses out. You can't.
No, I know.
You know, sort out parking outside that school. We can't. And if you go to every school in England, between
Same problem.
hours of 8 and 9 and
It's
half
the
past
same
9 in the
problem.
afternoon,
Yeah.
they've got the same problem.
Exactly.
Limited resource from the parking wardens, so we have them every now and then, and every school gets them. And it is difficult. I applaud what you say. I would like to have more contact with our parishioners,
Yeah.
but
Well, we
They-
do, we have open meetings and we got.
Yeah, but it's that kind of proactive
yeah, but I'm
behaviour
saying
and
if you, this is an open
involved.
meeting,
Yeah.
and how many members
Yes, everybody
Yeah.
can
of our
come.
parish are
They do, but they don't.
We have a table at the fete where everybody could come and chat to us.
do they?
No,
No. No, it is frustrating,
But there are ways around that.
but-
yeah.
but-
yeah.
I think we need to beat the drum about the work we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social media, unfortunately, is the way of the
Yes.
world,
Yeah.
and we need to be doing more about spelling out to people what we do, for them to see the work we do, to then look like we're doing something.
I mean, even
It's-
like the statement that you've suggested for the buses situation, that's great. Something like that is a start, but I think there's more proactive engagement work we can do. But I'm quite happy to explore that with councillors on that one. Second issue is one of the lampposts at the top of Cowper Road got knocked down before Christmas by a van. It's been more than a month and we've had no sign of a replacement. So that whole top end is dark on the junction of Cowper
and
Road.
who would we
Hounslow.
approach?
So that's been reported because
has.
because it affected the house on the corner and
Right.
it affected their water mains.
Oh.
So that was resolved. So I'm sure it's been reported, but nothing seems to have happened at all.
Well, are we certain it's being reported?
It's easy enough to check. That
Okay.
anything that's been reported should, if you go onto the
Should show
KCC
that.
Well, it hasn't got a
website,
number on it now
It
because
should-
it's not there.
Oh,
They've removed it.
It should still be on the plan.
It should-
It's
Yeah.
been removed.
Yeah.
I
Are
mean,
we-
if
are we-
they've removed it, then they must know about
Are we
it,
able
that
to
it's been
check?
removed.
Go check quick.
yeah, I think they should have a little red dot on the map
And
as
we've
to
got-
where something
Yeah, I'm
is.
just wondering what the
Yeah.
time frame is.
Well,
you know?
no, what I was going to say was if it has been reported, not by us, but it's been reported,
Yeah.
I would suggest if we can find it here, that one of us take it on board and makes contact and find out
Alright.
what is happening.
I mean, I have done that for another lamppost previously on Cowper Road, which was out for a while, and they were quite quick and efficient. In
Yeah, well, that's why I'm worried.
changing the
Has
light
it
on
been reported?
Yeah.
Or
Everyone
are they waiting for the
assumes.
insurance?
Oh.
It's
But
an
the van-
insurance
it was-
claim,
it was-
isn't
it
it?
Yeah, insurance will
It
be
wasn't
involved.
hit and
Yes.
run though. They
Oh.
didn't.
No, but it's still be an
No.
insurance claim.
Oh, I see.
Because if the
That might
van
be
knocked
why.
out and everything else,
Well,
the company or whatever would have to
Christian's
pay.
looking for us now, but
Okay.
I would suggest that let's just see if it has been
Yeah.
reported. It may not have been reported. Everyone assumes someone else has done it. May not have happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure because they actually removed it safely.
So
They
someone
know
that
about
can see
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
they should know then.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
if we can just check if there is a number, then please somebody take it on board and make contact with that number, or make contact with the KCC. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
That's okay.
Right.
And then the last thing was just I do follow Facebook, and there was that whole so many comments about the speed
I
cameras.
was going to bring this up, yeah.
Well,
That
you
will
do that one. Yeah, you do that one then. Go on.
So we've got the same. So it was around a fixed camera, private
Yeah.
camera in Auckland,
By
Which-
group. Yeah.
by a group, it's a
Speedwatch,
Speedwatch
yeah.
group, and it's the KCC. I looked like it was a trial or some sort of initiative
Sure, they don't have
Yeah.
any time.
where
No.
they fixed to someone. I'm assuming it's their house, side
Yeah.
of someone's house. It's recording the data,
Mm.
and then I'm assuming the parish council or whoever's operating Speedwatch, and then submitting the data through the portal, the system. And
Everyone was getting letters.
everyone was getting letters,
But
but they're
they-
saying
yeah.
it appears it's not calibrated properly. People are saying I'm travelling at 29.
They've got dash cams. All of them were saying they've got dash cams saying that they were
Yeah.
going under the limit, and it's affecting the whole of River who goes towards Folkestone.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do or who to go to.
However, I
Well,
did
if
think
the
what was-
parish council were doing it,
Yeah.
then surely they
Go
should.
to a
Well, I
parish
think it
council.
might be a group rather than
yeah.
parish council. I don't know. You
Ah.
see.
But I did think it was
Private group,
interesting.
yeah.
If
Mm.
this is a trial or there's extension to the trial, it's
Mm.
something for us to consider.
That
I
could be a
don't know how
private group.
we,
Mm.
yeah, how do we be able to operate this through
But it's
Speedwatch?
obviously fixed then in a
Yeah,
spot.
as
Yeah,
opposed to
that's
some
been,
area
yeah,
we're
mounted.
talking about issues up on London Road.
Mm.
Is there a way
Is
of
it fixed to
getting
the
this?
house?
Yeah.
I think it's the house or
Because
like the
they
fence.
used to, I remember about
Some
a
of
year
those are
ago,
very
they used
close
to
to
have
the
the
road though,
cameras
aren't they?
Some are
that
very
would
close,
catch
aren't
it,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, some years ago, they were doing road works coming up Crabble Hill just after the traffic lights, and so they installed a temporary lights or a temporary camera. It was a monitor to see the traffic approaching, well, coming from towards Dover from the Crabble Hill. And as soon as they saw a camera, all the traffic behaved.
Of course.
Oh, well, it's when a traffic warden's about, everyone is
Yeah,
most
they're
people
misbehaved.
are more careful on how they
Change
park.
characters to the
Yes.
dials altogether.
I do wonder if we're going to try and find a connection with someone in Auckland Parish Council for the Dower,
Yeah.
we can then ask about this
Who's doing it?
speed watch, who's
Yeah.
doing it, because that could be a solution rather than us having volunteers standing at the roadside with the equipment. If there's some way we can do
Yeah,
a trial,
but the beauty of the way we
it's
do
visible,
it,
of course.
it's
It's
visible, but it's never in the same place.
Yeah.
It can be anywhere along this road. It could be on that top road.
Mm.
Once it's fixed to a building,
They know
it's
where it
fixed
is.
to a building. Yes, yeah, and
Yeah.
everyone knows.
Could we have best of
Yes,
both worlds?
yep,
yeah.
Maybe.
But the trial we had, where we checked the speed on Lewisham
It was
Road,
okay, wasn't
it was more than okay, it was almost a bit slow.
it?
So I don't know if they have that data that they would include us in a trial, we could try.
Mm.
There is one thing that worth bearing in mind about Speedwatch. You cannot set it up wherever you feel like it.
No, we've got 2 spots,
And
3.
there have to be sort of authorised sites that have to be agreed by
And
the
the time
police.
of day you do it as well, isn't it? It's important.
No, I
You
don't
can't be
think
doing it
I
after
don't
dark,
think
then.
that has to be agreed, but certainly the places, the locations have to be agreed.
I'm just thinking for something potentially for us to explore to
Yes,
enhance
yes. I
the
mean,
compromise.
Andrew, is it possible to
the-
drop a note through to
It's
Auckland
camera.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to ask them, was it organised by them, or was it a separate group? As we'd like to
Well,
maybe
yeah.
pick their brains on
What's its name?
what to do, because it must have been
Like,
on
Well,
a
obviously it's
building
not there.
that was approved for it to be used. If what we're saying is we have particular sites to put it
Who
on.
sent the letters out to them?
someone must be uploading the data
Speedwatch.
into Speedwatch.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So they got a
Speedwatch
fine,
gets
quite a
in.
lot of people got a
Okay.
fine,
Yeah.
and said they're not even
They weren't even
been there day there,
Yeah.
yeah?
you said.
Okay. But Andrew will approach
Yeah.
Orcam on that, and I think also do it officially with Orcam and with Temple U.
Yeah.
Just say on the river project.
Project,
Yes, yeah. Is there anyone there? If we could
work on-
coordinate it,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Would you mind, Andrew?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, one other question. An update on the planters that we were doing. Is that something that we're doing in the summer months? For the
Andrew, well,
yes.
hot off the press.
Ah,
We've been
okay.
waiting for planning.
Ah.
Andrew.
Yes, we
Yes.
finally this week have received permission from Highways to put them in. I chased it again at the beginning of the week. Apparently it's the operations team that were holding it up, and we just don't know why. But it took 3 months, which is unbelievable.
Yes.
For some
But-
Just to
planters.
get
to put a planter in a down in the.
On the verge.
So if you remember, David Beanie offered £1,000 of his members' grant money. I'm waiting for confirmation of that. The lady who runs it has been in contact with me several times to see when the permissions have come in. I got back to her and said they're in now. Can I go ahead and put the order in? I don't want to jump the gun, because obviously if you spend, they want paper trail and all of that. You jump the gun too soon, and they say we went ahead with it before we
Yeah,
went
they
around.
will release the money and everything, yeah.
So hopefully she'll get back to me very shortly, and I can put the
Yes.
order in.
Yep.
Excellent.
And the plan is, obviously, as soon as with permission, it doesn't matter. We'll have them in place. They'll be filled with soil, etc. And river gardeners will
Yeah,
will
lovely.
take them over.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
lovely.
So it's close, but
Ready
no,
for
that
the
was
spring.
announced to me. Oh yes, yeah. Well,
Lovely.
I say that it's taken 3 months to get planning, so don't hold your breath. But no, that was something that Andrew mentioned, and I said we'll bring it up tonight. So, yep,
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
That's it. Thank you.
no, important. Christian?
Yeah, I did find the broken street light is on here, but it only says something like footlight not working. And when I looked for
It won't work, it's not
when
there.
I looked for street light damaged by accident, it doesn't actually let me look because it says it might be actually an emergency. So yeah, I might just give them another
Yeah.
dig and see what they
Are
say
you,
about it.
yeah, but have you, are you okay to do that? Yes?
Yeah, I can do
No,
that.
Thank
It
you.
won't work because it's not there.
Yeah, exactly,
Yes,
there's
yeah,
nothing there.
It's rather like the bulb in the other one.
Yeah, that's
The
not
bulb
working.
broken, but no. Right, no, thank you. Christian, yeah.
I've noticed there's a tree on Lucian Road just by the
Yeah,
road.
looming over badly.
Can we help that tree a bit?
The trouble is, they're KCC, or highways, aren't they? Is it? Yes.
Again, I think it's just a reporting job and see if that comes.
They should come out with
Because I
leaving
just
because it
noticed
could
it.
hit
No,
the bus.
well, I think it must have been hit by a
Which-
car or something.
Which way is it
Really, it's leaning towards the wreck, I think, isn't it?
Oh.
And
But it really is leaning bad.
Is it a state to be cut down, or can it be?
It's a very young. Oh, it's a tiny
Oh,
tree.
really?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's not a.
fresh,
yes.
it's a new one.
It's one that we planted then.
It
isn't
is, yes, yeah. But
I mean, I think I could just do it.
We did the Christmas tree decoration.
Yeah.
so we could
Well,
do that.
I
Leaning
actually,
back
I tell
to
you what I
trampoline.
no what.
It just really
let's
does need a
Leave
reporting.
it with me. I'll speak to Charlie,
Okay.
the landscapers, and I'll ask him to fix
Yes.
it on his
Help
next
him.
visit. Yeah, and as long as it's not snapped off or something, but it's definitely over. So no, I'll organise that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's
Yep.
all from me.
Thank you, Pauline.
No, I haven't got anything, thanks.
Right, sorry, if I write it down, I don't forget it. That's Charlie in the tree. Right, policing, Andrew.
Yes, the only thing I have is the newsletter came through from our council, which I shared on the WhatsApp. There was, in case you haven't read it, there's nothing really on there, just a general information about e-scooters and where they're not supposed to be ridden and that kind of thing, but nothing else particular for the local area.
Right, update on local bus service changes.
Not a lot.
I think reading through the sort of the latest comments, the major gripe that we seem to be possibly that we can put a bit of effort or leverage into is this thing about buses leaving earlier than their timetable. I've seen a lot of comments about that, and that's perhaps something that I can tackle Stagecoach about, because that shouldn't
I
be
think they've
happening.
had quite a few people.
Yeah.
I think
They've
it's
had some
important
complaints.
that we minute that and we actually follow it up with a letter to Stagecoach.
I mean, they're 3 or 4
so that-
minutes leaving early, that's quite a
because
bit.
I'm always constantly frustrated because it's a private bus company. We have absolutely no contract agreement with them. The ones that did have or may have are KCC. I don't even think Dover District.
No, because there's only
And
the special buses,
all we
isn't
can
there?
do is to push in a small way, but there's not a lot. And I'd like to say it's rather like planning. You know, we can say to planners we don't agree, it's still built. And with the bus company, yeah, we certainly need to make it known to the village that we're worried.
Yes, I'd like to see, like, for example, going onto Facebook to say we're aware of problems, could be short statements, we're aware of problems with buses leaving early, and we've written
To Stagecoach,
Stagecoach.
yes, yep.
And just simple as that for
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Just
A
so you
real
know.
simple update.
Yep.
When things like that come up, we're telling them we're making
Absolutely.
we're proactive.
Andrew, yeah, so
Yep,
we
we'll do
use our parish council website more, yep.
Okay.
But no, nothing else. I mean, there's no
No.
moves from anyone, and
No,
No.
doesn't seem to be.
I mean, they're
No.
running regularly. I mean, I get the 64 and the 67 past me. 67 on the way back to
Yep.
the river. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of people on it.
this is the problem.
Yeah.
64,
Very.
62 again.
Yeah.
I've asked at Stagecoach and Pencester about the Ridgeway again, because the Ridgeway, as I said before, believe it or not, there's only serviced on its way into
Out,
the village and not out of the village. But some of the buses do actually service it randomly, different drivers.
Can you not board the bus as it's coming into the village to go out with it? I know
double
that's
charge.
Double charge because
So
it
which
stops.
right. No,
at
I mean
charge.
it's
Yeah, so you'll be
Would-
charged to come to Minnis Lane, and then I'll be charged again to then
Go back.
come
Right.
back
It's
myself.
another
should we not
Wrong.
raise that with Stagecoach at the
It should
same
be.
time and just say this is a nonsense.
Really
You have a bus coming into the Ridgeway,
Yeah.
it doesn't depart from there, and if anyone catches it, no, I mean this is a sort of thing, and you may find that we get movement on something like that
But
because
some
it.
days, some shifts, we're seeing some of the drivers
Go.
servicing it. When
Yeah.
I asked this at Pencester, they said, "Oh no, we think we service it, we're not sure."
Yeah.
And then I said, "Well, it's not on the timetable." And then when I spoke to Stagecoach on the phone, they said, "No, it should not be
Right.
serviced.
No.
The drivers could be in trouble for
Yeah.
servicing it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, no one's going to get on it.
Well, it's not on
on
the
the
route, is it?
timetable.
No.
Yeah.
So no one's
Because
going
they're
on
missing
it.
the
Would you
stop
mind?
out.
I think if
Yeah.
you cover those two,
That would be
make
great.
it known in the
Yeah.
on the parish website.
We also got a bus stop missing from quite some time up the Ridgeway.
I've reported that
Yeah, I've
about
reported
10
that.
times.
Yeah, I've reported that about,
Yeah.
not 10, but
Where's it
5.
I've
missing?
spoken to KCC.
The one after Hazeldown is
Wingrove.
called Wingrove.
Oh,
It's
that's
been
gone,
knocked,
is it?
it's knocked
Oh.
over by a car or something.
And it's still
It's
missing.
been capped and not replaced.
So that it doesn't stop there.
And obviously that's a lovely one because you're finally at the peak of that
So if you ring the bell, if the driver knows to stop, it will stop.
If
it
not, it
doesn't,
goes
it
to the
carries
next
on.
one.
So KCC, the last email I had from them was a few weeks ago, where I've been pestering them for months. They said it's a Stagecoach problem.
Yeah.
Stagecoach have told me they've spoken to the Dover depot. I've chased them up about weeks later, and they've said we haven't heard from the depot. We'll chase them again. So apparently it's down to the Dover depot for someone to come and put a
Another
stop
bus stop
sign
back
up.
up.
But this has been missing for over a year now.
Yeah.
Would it, okay, 3 things in that note, Andrew. One is a bus
Trying to push.
Yeah, no, I just feel
Right.
it.
So
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah.
The true bus stop should be there.
It's like we're going a
So
bit
it's the actual
serious.
stop.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
The whole bus stop is gone.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
been missing for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone knocks
Yes.
it down,
Cool.
so they haven't
Stop.
replaced
There's
it.
totally lampposted, but they never put
Yeah.
So if it
signs
doesn't
on
stop
the new
there, you've
lampposts.
got a way back and up the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's just laps on the head, really.
Yeah.
Actually,
Right.
while we're on buses, I have chased yet again the bus shelter, the missing bus shelter in
Oh,
Luton
yes.
Road.
Where my lamp is.
Quite hard, isn't it?
They were they used to be quite reasonable at getting back to me. When I first reported it in February, they said it was going to be a long job. Yes, a year. And I emailed them again before Christmas and then again this week, but I'm not getting a reply now. So
That was almost falling down.
it was broken. The roof was broken, so we reported it.
And they
what
demolished it quite
and they
quickly
came
though. Yeah.
along and took it away.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of
They had
hoping they
to,
were
though.
going to repair
Replace
it.
it with another one.
But apparently they were saying that it's got to be, you've got to get quotes and all this sort of stuff.
But they can't put a bus stop sign up on the Ridgeway then.
Yeah, what chance you got for
What's their job, really?
I feel really sorry for the kids.
There was
in the morning
one
there.
thing I wanted to raise about buses. What happened to that question that was raised by somebody about diverting an additional bus to come along through River to into the town? It was from Elvington or something like that.
The new bus, what's the number?
The 64.
67.
The 67 comes up Cherry Tree and then goes up over and past me, goes up to the hospital over.
No, it wasn't that. It was a bus I sort of imagined would sort of come from somewhere out in the country
The 67
into
comes from
Whitfield.
Whitfield.
and down Whitfield Hill and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
along the top road and
Yes, that's the 67. That's what it does.
Yeah.
But
It only goes to Cherry Tree though. It doesn't go into town.
oh really?
Yeah. It goes up past the hospital, past me, back out to River and then back up to
But I
Whitfield.
thought that somebody suggested that this bus could surely
Be extended.
come sort of like down into River and help.
I think it does.
If it's
Only on the way back.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into town, it goes down Crabble Hill. Coming back, it goes through River.
It's meant to connect hospital, isn't it? With
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
people at Whitfield,
And then
yeah.
it's the same time as the other bus, isn't it?
Yes, you get both
instead of
buses.
instead of every half an hour,
Yeah,
you
Because
get
it's part,
both
they
of them at
put
the
that
same
one
time.
on as part of the spare money from the fast track bus,
Mm.
so it might only be a temporary one for so long.
Yeah, they
Oh, yeah,
said that. They said
Somebody
that.
on the Facebook group did actually get a reply from
Yeah,
Stagecoach.
they
They're
did,
saying
yeah.
it's not permanent.
It's not
Yeah.
permanent.
As soon as they extend the fast track to cover North Whitfield, then they'll cancel the.
Yeah.
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 Mike Tapp claimed it as a win on his behalf, but it was probably short-lived as being temporary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have there been any sort of complaints about the reduction in the number of services?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
20
Oh.
minutes
Yes.
Yeah.
to half an
frequently.
hour.
Yes.
Frequently.
Yeah.
It's 1 an hour.
Really?
Yeah. River's service really to go into town 1 an hour.
It's really
Yeah.
poor.
But I mean,
And when
stage.
they leave early, and you
Yeah,
miss
so you
it,
miss it.
sit there around for an
Yeah.
hour.
And the pensioners then can't catch the 9:30, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But-
Stagecoach say it's
Yeah.
purely financial. They can't afford to run more buses.
No.
They can't afford to do it.
But
Um,
you've only got to sort of stand here or
It's empty
And
all the time.
look at the number of buses coming along to see the point that Stagecoach made about the lack of
Mm.
support.
that's what we're fighting.
And
You
of course,
know,
if it leaves early, you're not going to have
a
any
very
passengers on
difficult
it anyway.
fight because the buses aren't supported, even with their reduced numbers that everyone's moaning about.
But what do we see
They're
this
still
year?
badly
Maybe this
supported.
year they're service away completely? Like, what's the next
Yes.
step? And then
They
they're
took
losing.
it away from
Well,
certain areas.
yeah.
haven't they?
Oh
No
yes,
buses.
many
Links's
villages,
haven't got a bus.
local villages have got no buses
Yeah.
at all.
No. And that Links's
Yeah.
is in town.
Yeah, but the principle should be that it's about vulnerable residents being able to
It's a
access
nursing home up there and a
transportation.
school.
It shouldn't be about profit.
Well, no,
Because it should be
of
a
course,
public
no. Stagecoach
It's
is
a
a
private company.
private
I
company.
know it is, I know.
Of course, no, they're
It's
they're
not a
in it for
not-for-profit
money.
company.
I know
They're in
they
it, and they're certainly not going to lose money.
are.
You know, because okay, they file accounts with a zero balance,
Yeah.
they stop operating,
Yeah.
and then we've got no buses.
No.
So no, I mean, the areas that sort of funding should come from should be local government.
Yeah, it should be.
I
And
think
the
the minimum
government.
tweaks to the current service. Clearly, we're not going to give it back
Yep.
twice an hour. But ensuring it departs after 9:30 for people who choose the bus pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is one thing. Servicing the Ridgeway
Yep.
properly makes
Yeah.
sense. They're
Yeah.
already here.
Yep.
Service it correctly. Those tweaks.
And not
Yeah,
having
yeah.
two
Yeah.
prices.
Yeah, and leave on time. Those tweaks, I think, will make
Yeah.
it a
But I,
sensible
yeah,
service.
but I think if we can put those in there, let
Yes.
everyone know that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Would
Um,
be really
Everyone's got to keep pressure on Stagecoach,
Yeah.
but it's really not getting
They have
through.
got a meeting with certain people next month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it is all about money.
Yes.
And it is.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Right, now I
nice.
wish we had something really positive to say, but I mean we're going to be a thorn in their side. We're going to start pushing them.
I think that's all we can
Yep.
do, isn't
It
it?
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Right, Mr. Hall, any questions from members of the... Oh, Paulie, have you... That was your finished, yeah? We were going round the table,
I haven't
weren't
got
we?
anything.
Right, thank you, sorry. Mr. Hall, questions from members of the public?
Just a matter of Meadowheath.
Yes? Pauline? You're obviously
I am
investigating...
working
Yes,
on that, but I've
yes.
got to find someone that can actually
Yes.
find that out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
A bit beyond what I can get on there.
the concern is that the building is becoming
It is getting
really
bad.
dilapidated. If we're not careful, you know, it's going to
And
be,
if
demolish a thing.
If
And,
it comes up, it's going to flood anyway, isn't
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
Not me.
So we will certainly, by the next meeting, hopefully
Hopefully
have
something.
A, found out who owns it, and B, spoken to them to see what their plans are. But it's somebody with an awful lot of money that's sitting there
It's just
with
a
what
simple-
is a very
It is
nice
tax
piece
deductible.
of land in River.
Which one do we talk about?
Sorry, we don't know enough about it.
Where
No,
they've
no,
got
it's
that
bridge.
bridge is
It's
on
down the bottom
left.
of Valley Road,
Yeah.
at the
You know
junction with Valley Road.
Where the
and,
bridge is, you come over the
Oh,
bridge,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
that little
That
place
bridge.
on.
It's a
There's
massive
one on
old-
the- on the
it's
left.
It was years ago.
Yeah,
It's been empty
yeah.
for quite a few
Oh,
years
Went up
now.
for auction, didn't it, at one time?
Yes,
Yes, it did.
That's
And
the
the
point.
Indian gentleman bought it.
It was up for sale,
Mm.
Yeah.
and that didn't work.
Yeah.
And then it's been up for auction.
And that didn't work.
That wouldn't,
either.
didn't work. But a few
As a
years ago,
result.
a couple of years ago, they spent quite a lot of money, tidied it all up, cut everything back, and we thought, great,
Yeah.
and then nothing. But it was 3 or 4 very nice
find it
local
on the
houses.
website.
Yeah.
It's been converted into one single building, and it's a big area. you know, I'm surprised that someone's not doing something with it.
Yeah, because you could convert it back would be
Or
the
like
best thing. Won't it?
convert
Unless
it
you have
back
again.
into 3
There,
houses.
there were beautiful houses, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Like it was
so,
to
Miss Hall,
start.
no, that is in hand. And one thing I did see, I didn't mention, the bench, the moving of the bench is no longer required, the one at the bottom of Cowper, because somebody has lopped all the branches off, all the branches which were the problem, from the tree, and it's absolutely clear now. So we've got a year or two before they grow back, or more than that. So, yes. No, we did, well, we had arranged to go out there. We went out there and they were digging a massive hole behind it. We didn't go back, and in all honesty, until this was on here, I don't say I've forgotten it, but I nearly had forgotten it, and I spoke to Mr. Hall, who said, no, this has happened, nothing to do. Yep. So, no other questions?
Nothing more.
Thank you very much. Right. Planning matters.
Oh, we have two. We have one for Valley Road. They're going to make a driveway and put some new retaining walls up. There are no opposition online. It looks quite, a lot of them have actually got parking. That's what a lot of people do, if they've got room on their front garden.
Yes.
Having for parking. Which looks, can't see it disturbing anyone. Where it's going, it's got quite a wide front garden, so it's got plenty of room to do it. And that should be alright. Has anyone got any views on it?
No, unfortunately, it
It's
makes
what most of them
sense
are
for
doing,
people
yeah.
to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's terrible. You're losing your front gardens, but
If you're guaranteeing a parking space,
Yes,
you get a line in
yes,
front of your house.
yeah. yeah.
That one's quite close to us. This is my house.
Yeah. Right.
I know that's not law yet, but it will come to it that we will have to look at like flood protection, that
Yes,
that's not
yeah.
possible anymore.
It's not-
People can just
It's been
pave
suggested,
over.
hasn't it? Yeah.
I know, and
You're supposed to put permeable.
yeah,
Well,
in
my-
Germany, in
My
Germany
driveway
that's
and
illegal
everything
now.
had to be built,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
permanent.
So the rain goes through it?
Protection.
Yeah. Not cheap.
No, it added a
You
lot
have
to the
have
price, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no objections.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want it solid hard.
It's a shame.
They don't want those bricks,
Mm.
because obviously that's not permeable, it just sits on the top. Yeah, and cause gravel. So that probably will come in, but not at the moment. And then we've got one for Lewisham Road, along. There is room for it, there is cars already there.
There was a photo in the digital version
Yeah,
that
there
I
was,
sent out, but I didn't.
Which are you
didn't
classing
post it on there.
I looked at that because it's already got
It's-
cars, yeah, it's the one next
It's
to
the one
it.
next to
So
it,
that
yeah.
one, yeah. So it's the
one's
same
Yeah, I thought
size.
you might have, I was just looking, thinking, gosh.
Yeah, it's the same size driveway, so I mean, if it's converted next door, and there's no opposition to it, so I assume this one will go through as well. That will mean most of Lewisham Road will now have
Car park.
No
way
way.
up.
Yes.
There won't be very few places to park, isn't it, in certain areas? Most of them are put.
Mind you, a lot of people, you see, gardens aren't as popular as they used to be, and it's quite
They've
nice
got
to
big
have.
back gardens as well,
Yes,
so,
yes, yeah, but I say, you look at a lot of people, it's
They don't
nice, they put a
garden.
few pots, etc. They'd rather have it patioed or covered.
It's less
Shame.
work.
Yes, that's what it's
Yes,
unfortunately all about, yeah.
much less work, yes, no, that's.
Right, so no objections on that.
No.
Clive can park
Any
his car there,
decisions,
yes?
Andy?
Yeah, I have 3 decisions. 3 Chiltern Way, which I think is the new convenience store.
Yes.
Display of illuminated fascia signs, that was granted. 2 Kingston Close, pruning works to 2 pine trees, that was granted. And 19 Cowper Road, erection of first floor with 6 dormer windows and off-street parking, and that was granted as well.
They are granting most of them, unless there's a really bad decision against it.
Good. Right, financial matters, Andrew.
Right, okay, so, have I I've sent you all round, have I not?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't actually printed the report, I'm very sorry, normally I print them for you.
Oh,
But you have received it.
yes.
Yeah.
Let me just go. So for the past, well, it's actually 2 months worth of expenditure. The main, apart from the standard things that we pay for, we get energy each month, electrical supply, and obviously our handyman cleaning of the rec toilets, and the other one is our groundwork. Other expenses during November and December, obviously the replacement air walker, the piece of gym equipment, which was 1659. The Christmas tree, play area repairs, which seem to be every.
Unfortunately, the more it's used, it's very popular, but it's certainly taking a battering.
They've had to shut the castle one. Most of the equipment's broken already.
Yes, yeah.
Which one's that?
The new play area full type thing up at the castle.
Oh, really?
They've had to shut most of it.
Yeah.
It's broken. New
We're
equipment.
trying now with the
Very popular.
is it Safe Play? Safe Play?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They, as soon as they spot anything, they are given permission to get on and repair it, because we used to leave it, it would then become twice as bad. So as Andrew says, it's an ongoing battle.
Even in the cold weather, there's people on there.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Victims of our own success there.
Good
Yes.
to see.
It is actually,
Yes.
yeah, it's nice to see them.
Yep. Sorry, Andrew.
Other things, so we had a big water bill, we get a I think quarterly we pay water, was it 6 months, I think 6 monthly actually, £1,168.
Mind you, we get a lot of that back from the Bowls Club, don't we?
We get, yes, we get some, anything that the Bowls Club use
Yes.
on
But
the,
just there, yes. But
um,
there's not a, with the urinals now, I mean, they're far more efficient water-wise than they used to be. They're automatic, but it looks a lot of money, but we get a lot of it back from the Bowls Club. I don't know how much that was.
I think they gave us about £1,400.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
saying
like that.
it's big money, yes, yeah. But they are the big users of water, they have to.
And we also, I mean, they haven't needed it on the football pitches, but I think we now have a meter
We do have, yes.
on the
Yes.
for the water use
Yes,
that
yeah.
over Rangers will use during the summer.
Well, they've got quite some work being undertaken by the FA on the pitches, or with FA funding to bring them up, and that will involve water, yes.
And then costs in December were actually just the basic cost: electricity, handyman, cleaning, refuse collection, and the service charge from the bank. Income during the 2 months: cafe and office lease, credit interest, a good amount of that, £530. And then the last utilities in November.
There would still be one for December, shouldn't there be?
No, they closed early December.
Oh, of course, it was the, yes,
The
yes.
day after the tree was put up, they were
About a
shut.
day, yes, yes,
So they
yes.
closed,
They
Yeah.
only opened in
So
January.
have we reread the meters for the new people?
I would assume
John.
would have done
Because
that.
does he supply you with those figures?
Yeah, they send. I think it came through from the ladies.
It did, yeah, but
But I think John goes in and reads it, and then
Right.
they sent it through.
okay. No, I don't know what's been set up for the new people.
No, I don't know.
I will speak to John Hill to make certain.
And then the digital copy that was sent to you also had the bank statements
Yes.
for verification of the balance, but everything balances. It's very nice that we don't have any unpresented checks.
Yes, it is
anymore.
now. It's the beauty of online banking. Yes.
Yes, makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah. Has anyone got any queries on those figures before we move on? No. Thank you, Andrew, once again. Brilliant work.
And then item B on the financial, I'm not sure whether this is financial or not, but I'll sort of put it in here, is the meeting that we had
Yes. I was
with
intrigued with that.
Dover District Council, which was Councillor Barris and Councillor Taylor, and myself went along and met Emma Jane Allen, Grace Dennis and Joe Shrimpton from Kirby Park.
Yeah.
I keep calling her that. It's my age.
Got Jean shrimp. Yes, the shrimp. Oh.
So they basically wanted to speak to us ahead of going out to open public consultation. refurbishment of the Kersney Abbey play area has been agreed. Budget proposed in Cabinet was £100,000, and they were looking at discussing ways that the Parish Council could possibly be involved in it. They were looking at, well, very possibly money involved. So the Parish Council could be a full partner and provide a financial contribution to the project. There are some other projects in the district where this has also happened. I think Sandwich were mentioned as one town council that partners with the DDC over some work. The timeline for this, they're looking to finalise the budget by March of this year. Project itself take place in spring 26 with a completion date sometime early in 26-27. So if we did decide to provide a contribution, they need confirmation in writing reasonably soon. I mean, in the next few months, I think they're looking at. And then the contribution itself could either be in the current financial year or early in the next financial year, early in 26-27. So if we decide to put some money into it, then it's not necessarily coming out of the next year's budget, it could be the one after.
And you can become a partner without putting it, well,
You can
you
also
have a
become
say
a
on it
partner.
Yes.
without putting money.
But can I draw your attention to the last paragraph, which we thought that it was worth throwing that one in. And this was the stalled planning applications for the River Recreation Ground. And without actually sort of over-labouring the point, we did say that we were very, very concerned about the time that these permissions were taking to come through, and it would help enormously for us to make up our minds whether or not to consider their offer of partnership, if there was anything that they could do to it was something like that.
Yes.
You know.
I mean, there is a slight development on that, isn't there, Andrew, on the planning?
There is.
Yes, yeah.
If I just finish this.
Yes, sorry, yeah. We'll go back on that, Clive. Sorry, there's an update.
The other option that they discussed, I'm not sure whether it's at the meeting or this came in an email afterwards. They
It
said
wasn't
that
discussed at the meeting.
that we could also become a project partner without contributing financially, and this would have benefits because it would mean that the DDC could possibly apply for funding from sources that they would not usually
Such
be able
as?
to.
What if we
We didn't get
became a
money.
If we
project
were
partner?
a project partner.
Project partner.
Without
No investment.
I mean, a lot of I think Razzie can probably confirm this. A lot of funders like partnerships. They like people to be involved, more groups,
Community
and
engagement.
engagement, that kind of thing. It will just mean that there are funds that they can apply to, which aren't, when you say, oh well, we've got partners within the project, that will impress some funders, and it will mean they can put an application in. So, for example, they've already put in an expression of interest to this Nature Towns and Cities funding, which is, I think it's a heritage fund, and then if they find out that this expression of interest has been successful, then they would work with us to develop a full application. So I mean, it might mean it would just bring in possibly funds that they might not get from out. So it's something worth considering. They are quite happy to come along to the next meeting and discuss it, answer any questions, either the February or the March meeting, if we're interested in exploring any of these options.
Was there an indication about option 1 about how much? Because that's quite a key number, isn't it?
It is quite a key number. Well, I mean, no one mentioned that figure, but I mean,
They were looking towards double figures, I think.
Okay, so if they're putting 100,000,
Exactly.
if they're looking for the.
I mean, it'd be quite a. I mean, it's would 2,000 really be worth? I mean, I don't know. So I mean, it's possibly beyond what we're.
Because that might be director's option 2 as being a slightly more palatable option to support funding elsewhere.
But none of these DDC representatives were anything to do with planning, were they?
No.
No.
No, but the
It's always worth asking because Ellie Jane is very influential.
Yep.
But we dropped a pretty obvious hint that we might be sort of more inclined to go along with this. You know, if there was anything possibly that they could do to speed up these decisions.
I mean, the latest news I've got on that is that Alice Pitts, the planning officer, has been in touch with me this week.
Yeah.
I mean, what they were initially talking about was that we, from somewhere, I'm not sure where it came from, didn't come to us. There was a suggestion that Sport England would be happy to remove their objection to the office if there was some kind of written commitment that all of the money would go towards the facilities.
Yeah.
But I did draft a letter and sent it to Sport England. But I don't think that was, in some way, that wasn't covering what they wanted.
They wanted it revised, didn't they? Or it wasn't quite what they.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to come back, they and DDC, with what they wanted.
Yeah,
And
well,
it never came back.
No, they seemed to come back to DDC, but not to come back to us.
Yes.
And what DDC was suggesting was that we have one of these pre-application meetings with them to discuss it.
Which we paid for.
Which we paid for.
Yes, months ago.
And prior to that, they would have some discussions internally, whatever that meant. Well, they have now been talking to each other, and they are kind of in a position to give us a date for a pre-application meeting when hopefully all of this will become clear as to what we need to do. So there is some movement there. Actually, one last thing on the Curzon Parks. I spoke to this new lady, Grace Dennis, the Principal Open Spaces Officer. It's been a while since they've had one, apparently. She's been newly appointed, and she's keen to visit all open spaces in the district, not just ones owned by DDC. So I said, well, would you like to come along and have a look at what we have, and I can show her our project.
Yeah.
So she said that's a good idea. So at some point this month I'll try and arrange something so she can see our problem and see what we're trying to do, and leading on from that, perhaps they can discuss things. And I've also broached the subject as to because once the community use agreement is signed, we need somebody to monitor it and agree to a meeting with us. And I've asked if somebody from Open Spaces would be that person. I don't suppose planning would want to do it.
No.
It's got to be somebody from DDC.
Yeah,
So
it will come under open spaces anyway.
so I asked the question and they are discussing it.
Yep.
Just before we leave Curzon Abbey, I don't know if any of you remember, but possibly 3 or 4 years ago, it was announced that some kind of picnic area was going to be constructed, and I've got a funny feeling that it was somebody. It wasn't Dover District Council that were doing this, but in this side of the Abbey, where the stage used to be at the bottom, it was right up at the top, and there was a kind of a platform.
It was.
It's
It was
always
a platform
gone,
that
it's
was
disappeared,
constructed.
it's
And there was
gone.
beds there.
It's
Yeah,
gone.
That cost £20,000,
Rotten.
that was.
But I don't think,
Yeah.
Her name was Alice, the platform.
Alice,
Yes.
that's
Yes,
right.
Alice, the platform.
And we objected very strongly to the further one that they wanted to put in the ruins, and that was a dead duck.
This was
But-
just a trial, that one, Alice.
But yes, I just noticed it the other day that it's been,
It's gone.
it's just
Rotten.
Yeah.
basically it's
But
disintegrated.
we object, it was, well, awful. It didn't
Yeah.
serve any useful purpose.
It was in the wrong place.
It's
Exactly.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's why
It's just weird, isn't it?
looking at DDC's record on things like that.
One of the arches.
It reminds me of those
They
plants.
only included us because obviously it's in our pouch.
Do we want?
Whatever money, you know.
I thought that
When do we need to
it
get
was
back
constructed
this
by somebody else.
request about
Or
funding?
it must have been, I don't know.
I don't think it
Well, I
was
mean, I think they're
Dover
happy
District
for
Council.
us to, if they're happy to come along to the next meeting and discuss it, and we could then get back to it after that.
Right,
So
would we
would we
like to meet them at the next meeting?
Give them a spot.
We're certainly not going to give them 50,000, but
I think so, because I'd like to know how much work would be involved with option 2 to work as a partner with the
Yep.
for these
Yes,
applications for
Because
funding.
if
Yeah.
they brought that in, that wasn't
Yeah.
discussed on the day.
They want our help, so I think they
Yeah.
should tell us what work we would be required to do
Yep.
to help.
yep. So we'll invite them for the next
Okay,
meeting.
okay.
Yep.
Is Tampa Parish Council involved there as well, or
No,
just
because
one?
they're Russell Gardens. They're not, it's
Oh.
outside of the road.
There's a boundary
It's only us.
just there.
Road is the border,
Yeah, it's the other people.
the other people.
Yes.
This is our land.
Right, so thank you for that. That's really
Okay.
interesting.
So then item C is then the precept.
The precept, yes.
Yeah.
Possibly the most important thing on tonight's agenda is this, because it obviously affects everyone in the village, affects us, and certainly I have an open mind on it. I've taken note of Daniel's comments,
Yeah.
which are very, very, well, very positive. You know, we have for 5 years held our precept. It's a long time. When we last did it, and we did do it once before, and that's when one of the other young councillors came on. That was Rob Nicholas, and he said, "No, you know, you're shooting yourselves in the foot. You've held it. You for 3 or 4 years not increased it. You ought to at least try to keep pace with something. I won't say inflation, because that's big money. So no, Andrew's given us a proposal. What I'd like to do is to throw it open to everyone or anyone that's got any particular comments, and for us then jointly to agree what we should do.
May I just add to my points on email, which I've taken some time to reflect. I think we need to consider any costs that are going to increase for this year. So the maintenance contract for the recreation ground, all those elements. What's one of those contracts up for renewal? Because we're going to have to factor in the percentage increase. That's going to impact the precept, isn't it?
The recreation ground, is that not, it's fixed for a period, isn't it, or is it fixed with an increase each year?
There's, I can't remember what we agreed with him. I think it might just have been a 1-year contract. So,
Yeah, and I'm just saying,
so he
we
may well look to want to increase it for. I can't remember when the year is up, to be honest.
no, it's fairly shortly, I would say.
Can I suggest that, or ask, that before we start considering this, what was the amount of money that we put aside for these 2 projects in the main one, in the recreation grounds?
Round terms 40,000, wasn't it? About 40, 36, I think was the
I think it
actual.
was around somewhere.
Yeah, it
around
was
that,
about 40.
And so that's still in here somewhere.
Well, I mean, it's not in spending. It's effectively in our reserves.
Reserves, yeah.
That's where it
Yeah,
is.
and we've not spent, we haven't spent anywhere near that. We haven't.
Because all those costs will go up.
And of course,
Oh, yes.
those costs of making the meeting room would be, well, it's not going to be any less, is it?
Oh, Clive, I would think it's going to be more than likely as much as 50% higher.
So,
there's been
so
a
this
massive
is
move.
this is
Yeah.
something which, if we've, if I've heard this right, we've got some sort of reason to believe that these planning permissions will come through sooner rather than later, something like that.
Yeah.
But that being the case, you know, before we start sort of talking to Dover District Council about being a project partner and all this sort of thing, we ought to sort of consider, you know, what we want to do, and make sure that we've got enough money there for that.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's probably
Andrew
straight in the bloody
certainly
obvious.
is aware of it, yes, yeah, I was going to say, I didn't want to say that, but yes, I mean, we obviously have and are aware that we have substantially more to pay, and we can afford it. But as Andrew says, it's sitting there, we've got the reserve is what at the moment, Andrew? Carried forward 70?
It'd be about 70,000, somewhere in that region.
Yep.
Most of that's
And that's,
And of course there is a need to maintain some sort of
yes,
reserve.
yes.
In
Of course,
case of,
So yes, I mean that certainly is, well, hopefully foremost in everyone's mind that when we refurbish that, it will cost us substantially more, and I think, as I say, 50% would be lucky if we manage to keep it to that. It's quite frightening what's happened with the building industry and with raw materials. But
the labour charges.
yes, yep,
Everything.
yep.
Yeah.
But
of course the option that we've never explored is looking for external funding. I mean that might be something that we need to look at. If
we won't go to the FA for it. Sorry.
I mean, I'm particularly thinking if we're looking for items that might have an environmental impact, there is green funding around. If looking at the solar power for the electricity or whatever, grey water recycling. I mean, these are things that would cut the cost of the overall build, and there might be funding for them.
Yeah, there must be. Usually isn't there?
I think certainly we should be looking at that, and again, rather than just leave it to Andrew, if we are going to do that, what I'd like to do is say, right, 2 or 3, let's get together and let's look at funding for the parish council. Not all falling onto Andrew because there's only so many hours in the day, but we need to make certain within what we do there is sufficient in what we do to pay if we've got to, but hopefully we can get funding of some shape or form, and there is quite considerable sums of money available. It's just the question of time of applying and sourcing them, but no, I think we should be doing that. As I say, a subcommittee, call it whatever you like, that is looking after funding, absolutely vital. And it's not just for this, it's the village in general. We come up with an idea, we shouldn't think, well, we've got to fund it 100%. Quite often you can get 50% funding for lots of things. So yes.
Well, in a way, I mean, this is what, of course, Dover District
So
Council
what to do?
are doing with Kersney Abbey, isn't it? They're
Yeah, they don't
looking
want to fund it.
elsewhere, you know, i.e. us,
Yeah.
you know, for a bit of support.
Right, so no, the precept, as we're discussing there, Andrew, I mean, and as you put forward, bears in mind that we've got the cost of refurbishing that building. It's there, yes.
It's in the
within
the reserve.
yes, so we've not got. Yep.
Yeah.
But
Excuse me, could Andrew just remind us what you put forward then regarding the precept?
Well, the proposal that was there was simply a balanced budget, so that's there's always a slight increase every year in the tax and the tax base. So a precept of £65,720 would effectively be a balanced budget. So that's along with the income that we're getting from the office lease and the rep cafe would cover our costs of, so we'd be at a sort of standstill position. So that wouldn't
it wouldn't expand it, would
it wouldn't expand that.
So it needs to be a bit more than that.
Yeah.
I think we should be ambitious. I think I mentioned about £2.
You did a pound, didn't you?
Pound and then
Yeah.
a £2 kit, I think it was, for one household, which could bring in from a few thousand to several thousand, which we could
And that's per year, isn't it?
Yeah, over the year, a few pounds for one
Yeah.
household, I think is,
And I think if you
Very
compare it with
reasonable.
other parish councils,
yeah.
it's not out of line or out of kilter with that.
Some of those parish councils,
Yeah.
the precept is
Yeah.
is a bit larger than us.
So I think, you know, as long as the whole point will be that if the community is collectively giving a bit more, they want to see the outcome from that.
Yes.
So if we're saying that we want
It's a project.
to increase it a little, so that we can collectively work on projects like the rec project
Yep.
and refurbishment or other community
Additional
projects.
benches, a gazebo,
Yeah,
something for
and we
recreation
can
grounds.
consult on that, we can ask them what they'd like to have, what projects they'd like to have in the village and the community as part of our kind of planning.
And is it,
Going forward.
hasn't been increased, was it
For
5
5
years,
It's
yeah.
a long time.
It
It is, it
Falling
is.
behind.
Well, if you think inflation,
Yeah.
it's quite frightening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We must have only avoided doing this because of the income, I'm assuming, from the office and the cafe.
Yes.
Because if we didn't have that,
We had a massive drain before, and we
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
do something, and that filled the gap.
which is
Yeah.
wonderful.
But yes, it
Yeah.
is. But we've got to move forward.
Yeah, we do.
As I say, we need to be doing more that is
Yeah.
obvious to the
And
village,
we need
Yeah.
money for that.
and we need money for
Yeah,
it.
we
Yes.
do.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think
I'd
we
love
do.
to have some tangible items people can say that installed this year in the recreation ground
Yeah.
was paid for.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
if
I'm going
we
to give you a couple of sample
yeah, thank
figures.
you.
Yeah.
So the current Banding Council tax charge for the parish council element is £43.83.
Mm.
If that went up to £45, say, that would be a 2.67% increase, and that would that would be about an extra £2,000, almost exactly £2,000.
And that's 150, was it?
And that is £1,
£1
£1 and
each, yeah.
£1.17, not
Just over a pound.
just over a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's 2.5% roughly.
That's 2.67%.
What's 5%?
I don't know whether I can.
No, I'm just trying to.
The percent sounds big, but the cash value is.
I know, but I
For
just
one
don't
house.
want to put more on people when you're already having so much more to pay.
They're going to pay, at least it's going to be at least 5%.
Yeah.
I
My
might have a
message is
slightly
not great.
discordant voice here, but I think at the moment, my view is that there is such a negative territory now financially for households that I think that we get more benefit from spinning it, that we're not doing it than doing it, as opposed to putting some sort of physical structure up somewhere and saying we're doing it. And I think last couple of years, I think I have indicated we should spin it on social media. We have actually not made an increase, and we haven't done it for various reasons, and maybe I haven't pushed that hard enough. But I mean, I think there is a positive also to say for 5 years that we haven't done it.
Yeah.
Particularly when you think that on the 14th of March everyone's going to get a household bill from Dover
It's
District
gonna
Council
go
with
quite high.
right up to the maximum of 5% they can take.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm slightly ambivalent about it, because I think you could spin it as a positive as well as taking money to do a minor project, because I don't really think even at the top end of your analysis that £4 grand is going to make much of a dent on that construction when we get to doing the to rebuilding, frankly,
Yeah.
and particularly if that's involved, because you lose 20%
Yeah.
automatically. Yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, I'm really sitting on the fence right
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Just to answer that question, a 4.95% increase would bring the council tax charge to £46. So an additional pound, so it'd be £2.17.
That's too
No,
much.
pound. No, pound would
That's
be.
too much.
Yeah, I think pound.
That'd be 460 a
45,
month
that's
then,
the
we're
maximum.
doing it over 10 months, isn't it? What we pay?
Yeah.
10
yeah,
months,
over
yeah.
10
You can
months.
pay over 12, but yes,
Yeah.
10 usually. I'd go
Well,
for
so
the
you,
pound.
yeah, we pay you
increase.
10 monthly payments rather than the 12, don't we?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, so it's 460.
right, Mike's obviously put forward a good argument,
Yeah, yeah.
or
Well,
something to
I hope it's
consider,
balanced
not
like
argument,
that.
but yes, no, and I'm
Yeah.
just saying, please,
Yeah.
let's all, because I'm torn on this. I know how tough it is,
Yeah,
and it
it's tough.
really is tough,
Not fair.
and it doesn't sound a lot, but for some people, it is a lot of money.
I mean, if we are going to suggest it, I would suggest a pound extra, that's it, that's over the year. Which isn't
Yeah, max.
maximum, yeah.
Maximum.
Yeah,
I
because by
think
the time you get the police on and everything else on that.
I just think the
rate
message is
group,
not
it's
great.
quite high.
But
but can I just
I think if we are going to increase it by £1, then as Mike said, we should let the village know that
Yeah.
we reluctantly, after 5 years,
Yeah.
or however long it
Yes.
is, found it necessary to increase by by £1.
If we're worried about increasing this by more than £1, can I ask the question, why are we potentially going to spend £60,000 or £70,000 on the recreation ground, on the building refurbishment? Does that impact the whole village?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's it
yeah.
for?
It's
The
for
village.
the village can hire the room when it's finished.
But hire the room, but that's access to hire the room when you...
Oh, use the room,
I'm
I mean,
just, we're talking about costs being headway, and we're going to spend £70,000 on converting some changing rooms,
Yeah.
which some residents will say is a waste of money.
What do we
Because
And
not
some
everybody.
residents will-
What's the alternative?
Yeah.
what do we do with that building?
What do we do?
What's
We-
the alternative?
Well, I don't know that answer. The alternative is, do we actually need to do anything with it at all?
The
If
building
we're
needs-
talking about
we have
headway
to
for...
maintain that building or it'll collapse.
Okay.
Eventually.
The-
Then
well,
it'll cost
you-
us more.
The
Yeah.
position is that we pay to use these premises
Yeah.
for our meetings. We wouldn't have to pay that money out, first of all. Secondly, we can make this available for hiring, which would bring more other money in.
I just don't think we can use the argument of increasing it for more than £1 on council tax is too much, and on the other hand, say we're going to commit 50, 60, 70,000 pounds on a room that the majority of the community will probably never use. Honestly,
Yes,
if we look
argument
ourselves in the mirror, is that really the argument we're going with?
But if we
To
do
say-
leave that building as it is, it's just going to deteriorate. And we are responsible for that building if anything happens and some of it falls on someone.
I don't agree that it won't be used.
It will be used by them. They used the
Or
whole
would it not be
upstairs.
used?
They used it before, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they used
But-
it before, there was
but-
clubs going on there,
Why?
exercise groups.
We're obviously looking at funding.
Yeah.
Let's look at funding part of that refurbishment cost.
But yeah, we can look at
That to me should be possibly be our number one issue. If we can get £15,000-20,000 towards it, 50% towards it,
But I think that's
But-
why
but-
part of the issue is that you consult with the community to find out what they actually would like in the village.
Yeah, but-
So definitely some of
We'll
it will
get
be the
hefty.
building.
yeah, but you'll have 100 different ideas of what should happen. No, you throw it open to them. You've got 101 different ideas,
Yeah.
suggestions,
I think-
etc.
I think Mary and I did this community day about
Yeah.
about 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Something. And it was we did this poster where everybody could write down
Mhm.
their ideas, and there was some good ideas in there, but there was also an ice ring that people wanted, a
Really?
swimming pool,
Yeah.
a new a massive
That's really cool.
trampoline in the rec. There was a lot of very interesting
Yeah, wishful
ideas.
thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
I get that, I get
You're
that.
always
That's
gonna get
fine,
wishful thinking.
absolutely fine.
Was it well attended that day?
That
or
was
did-
well, yeah. It was,
There was quite a lot there, not as many
Yeah.
as, yeah.
But it was with all the
Yeah.
different, yeah.
Yes, groups,
Yeah.
So perhaps our angle is that if we go with no increase,
Yeah.
our mission as a parish council is to get as many grants as possible to fund the building in the rec, to divert the funds that we have in reserve to do a different project, whatever that project may be.
Yeah.
So we are then trying to keep cost neutral.
Hmm?
I do think visually to the parish they see nothing really happening.
Yeah.
So paying you £48, £43.83 per month is to see a well maintained rec.
Which does
But-
cost a lot.
Yeah, it costs
No,
a lot.
it does of course, but people just don't see that and they're wondering where's the progress? What
And the
else
rec
do
is
we
the only
see?
thing really apart from planters and a few other
Yeah.
bits around that we have to maintain.
Yeah.
There is nothing else.
But it enhances the rec, isn't it? Like more benches or seating, picnic
Well,
tables.
the playground that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But every year we
obviously
should
on
push forward and
the
have big
recreation
grants.
ground matters, just so you know, there's the area of fencing between the Bowls Club and the play. That's loose all the way down. John Hill has got that to do. If we get PlaySafe to do it, it costs us £7,000, which is a fortune. So I said no to them, don't touch that. But we've got some considerable amount of money to spend to actually have that fencing redone. It was fitted by them or by the people that erected, and it's okay. It's been there some years, and a lot of people lean on it, but it's going now, and I keep getting a report, so I know we've got that to pay out. That's not massive money, but it's going to be 2,000 or 3,000, I would think, unfortunately. So suggestion is no increase. Explain to the village what we're looking to do, but if we don't raise funding,
It's going the wrong way. We've got to have a small increase.
Yeah, I
Even if
agree.
it's only at least £1.
Yeah.
I think
Probably a bit more.
I think that 5 years of a standstill budget
It's got
Yeah.
for 5 years.
is long enough.
I agree.
We've got to emphasise that it's spend
Yeah.
as best
Yep.
we can.
Well, I think they know what it's spent on. It's not like they want to see a bench for it. They know it's for the upkeep of everything that they use. The playground, the fitness equipment,
Yeah.
the path, the green.
It's all in the spin, isn't it? It's our question to the community when you're in the recreation.
Yeah,
club,
well, it's
this
here,
is-
look,
that
it's
this
here.
is maintained by
It's
the
all
parish
online.
council. But how many people would come and use the recreation ground?
Really
It's just
good.
over district council.
No,
Yes.
they
District
know,
council.
Yeah.
they know it's us.
Yep.
They know it's not
Well,
theirs.
I'm not entirely convinced
No,
on
nobody
that.
knows.
I've lived around
No.
the village for 25 years, and I'm not sure that that is accurate. And everyone knows that it's maintained by
I
River
think
Parish Council.
most people know that.
Owned,
I
owned
beg to
and
differ on that,
maintained.
that is true.
Owned and maintained, and that's put in every single message of arrival under the recreation ground, isn't it?
Yeah, owned and maintained, yeah.
But the people will just say it's the council. And
They
do.
and
They
it's a
will.
blanket thing, the council.
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
And I'm
I
sorry
think-
if you think every
yeah.
Western reads the Rival magazine,
Yeah.
then I think we're out of touch with that 2025. I'm
Yeah,
unfortunately
absolutely
there to
right.
say that.
Absolutely right.
It's the messaging and the history of what might have
Yeah.
happened in the village is not where we're at in 2025 and reflective of the younger population
No.
who will make assumptions that that is just over district council space
Yeah.
and won't make the connection.
Well, I think this is where we are saying that we need to be making it known far more what we're doing, what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's why I said the river for me is focal for the village.
Yes.
The trouble is, if you are someone from the Ridgeway, that's more important to them
Of course.
than here. Yeah, this is again the difficulty. Wherever you ask, someone's going to
They've
possibly
got different things.
yes.
They're
Or
different
to
areas.
me, the heart of the village is the river.
I think so.
You
I
know,
think it's a focal point. It's emblematic of who we are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah.
are partnerships available which we have been trying to develop,
Yes,
and at least
yeah.
the connections are there. I'm not saying they're being productive, but the communication is there now. It's now about pushing that forward, I think. And I mean, you know, I'm not going to put my hand up and say I object to this increase in precept, but if any of that money did go towards the river, I wouldn't be ungrateful.
Yes. Yeah.
And perhaps that's the project we identify.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Talk about
that's
this.
what that's.
Yeah.
I listen to what has been said, and that's why I'm saying I want to pick out. The planters were underway, but
Yeah.
yes,
But
you're
the
right.
river
We
represents
need to
all that.
let people
Yes, yeah.
know what we're doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what we're responsible
Yeah.
for. I mean, would you all mind if we had one member of the public here, a wise old sage, just to ask Mr. Hall what he thinks about the precept?
I think we should go up.
Yep.
By what?
I think one of the biggest things that you have is your insurance premium.
Oh
Heaven knows what that'll be in the future.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
just one item.
Yes. Yeah, very true actually, because well they just keep going one way and that's up and
Yeah,
up and
on
up.
that note, I was speaking to somebody who works in the city and is involved with insurance, and they're saying what these fires in LA are going to have a knock-on effect on lives in London, and it'll affect us as well, right?
Yep. Yep.
Right,
Tends to,
right.
doesn't it?
In the European.
It's already £900 up for estimated year end versus the budget on the insurance and audit line.
Thank you, Colin, for that. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. What do we think then is a reasonable sum to increase to or by? £1,
A pound.
£1.50, £1.
I would say £1.50 to £2 person.
I know you're £1.
Yep.
Yes.
I'd say to £45.
Sorry?
To £45.
Oh, I thought you said
So it's
£45.
not
Ambitious.
So that's £1.19, isn't it?
£1.17.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
£45. Yeah.
Oh, that's crooked.
Would that be?
I'd go £1.17 to round it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
make it 45.
Yeah.
Yes. Andrew? Yes. We're all happy. We're all agreed on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I will get that drawn up
Yes.
and get
Yep.
signed by the chairman within the next week.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. No, thank you for your work, and thank you everybody for the comments here, but the work beforehand. I appreciate people putting pen to paper. Yes, yes. Thank you. Good. Right. Moving on to the recreation ground. We're all aware that the cafe is reopened. A number of us met the new people. We shared coffee with them, which was good. They certainly appear to have the right idea. Unfortunately, the weather's been lousy, but I noticed she's starting to use a website. There's a note about BlackBerry.
Those tent cakes are just too
Yes, yeah.
Got them in your
At the moment, there's a couple of minor repairs that need doing, but there's nothing big. John is busy. The only thing that is outstanding, I say, is that fencing between the play area and the bowls club. I have said to John, as soon as it's possible, do it, because all I need, or all we need, is someone leaning on it. It goes over and they hurt themselves. No, other than that, the recreation ground is in a lovely condition. It looks good. Everyone says it's never looked so good. The hedges are amazing. It really is a credit. I'm obviously in contact with the bowls club and the tennis club to try to make certain that everything we need to do is done, but there is the fencing around the tennis courts will need looking at. I'm going to speak to the tennis club, but we may need to assist them with that. I mean, that's, well, fencing has been there lots of years, yes, yeah. But no, other than that, I mean, the recreation ground, yes, it's well supported. Unfortunately, yeah, the play area has a lot spent on it just to keep it in tip-top condition, but there's nothing worse than having 2 or 3 things closed up. You know,
It's because of use, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is. As I say, we're victims of our own
Very
success,
popular.
so it's good. But no, recreation ground matters, none. I mean, I'm happy with the cafe people.
And I think too that the cafe people, the lady that I was speaking to is Georgina.
I can't remember their names.
No, we weren't drunk, but we were happy. Yeah, we were, yes.
And, no, she's seems to have a sort of a very outward sort of look about her,
Yes,
and
It seems, I've seen people going towards it.
yes,
So-
yep.
and I think that we will see that cafe open more.
Yes. Well, it's 7
Oh
days a
yes,
week,
it's
isn't
7
it?
days a week. I mean, they've got their
Yes, 7
timetable
days.
up, yes.
Because they're a bit more regular and they came opening time.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
yep.
see a lot of people with coffee cups walking around the village
Yep.
on their walks.
Yep.
They've
Yep.
never been there and
Yeah.
they just get a hot cocoa or a coffee cappuccino
But
and they're
it's not
walking.
really for us as the owner to start sort of leaning on John and saying we want this place.
Oh, I think they will do.
Oh no,
But they're
John says that he wanted it opened. He
Yeah.
was disappointed with the couple that had it, and if he and Joe had been running it, it would have been open 6-7 days a week. That was their plan. That was their dream. It was going to be her job in his retirement.
Yeah.
But I think that,
Yeah.
and that's winter times. Yeah. Oh yes, yeah. She stressed that. But no, I mean that's.
So they want to do longer in the summer then?
Yeah.
But I mean, the most ridiculous thing of all was to close it on Sunday afternoons.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what happened on Saturday, football being played, pitches were frozen.
Yeah.
Football was cancelled completely. I felt really sorry for them because that is good. They've got 50, 60, 100 people there. They do well. And I thought, no.
Yeah, but it's just so cold.
Yes.
The
yes.
52 weeks of the year, I mean, that play area is the big puller, isn't it?
Yes,
Yep.
always, yeah.
Yes.
Kids will go
I
in
did
there
have a
like
good
that.
chat with them about events and to call up with them about something.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a bonus.
To have ideas with them what we're going to do.
That's great.
So to keep things.
I mean, they haven't
interesting.
got, potentially anyway, that they've got some competition with the mill, but I mean, that doesn't even exist, does it? The competition.
Well, they have a be there. You can.
Yeah, you can
so
put that, yeah, that's it. They're not open regularly.
And obviously, yeah.
Right, sorry, move on to item 13,
Okay.
events and, oh no, consider any nomination for calc, yes? And what I have said, we apparently still have the award for last year's winner. I've asked Andrew to give it to me, she lives just round the corner from me, I will,
Okay.
yes, I'll present it, yes.
Shall we make it a bit of a habit to present that during the fete? Maybe make a bit room for
No,
it.
no, it was supposed to be presented.
I know, but
Fete.
she was gone now.
Yeah.
No, she was like, well,
Well, nobody could
Yeah.
find her, I
Yeah.
know, yes. But if
But,
we,
but,
only because she didn't know she was presented with this.
It's Jean Thomas, isn't it?
Jean Thomas, yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
Sometimes she comes along to the meetings, doesn't she?
She used to, long time ago, yeah, long time ago.
Invite her along
I
and,
think if the person knows they
but-
were presented with something they shouldn't.
But I think she's a
Quiet lady.
quiet lady, and I say she's just round the corner from me, so I
Yeah.
said to Andrew, give me that and I'll present it on behalf of the parish.
If you make a photo, so we can put that on our socials.
I don't do selfies because they come out awfully. Oh my God, how do kids do it? My son is amazing, he does selfies and they're like portrait photographs.
We want to see this selfie now, so now we get some interest on social media.
Plenty of good photos
I think,
to do.
I think people are evolving with longer arms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why those selfie sticks were so good, but they went out of focus. In fashion, if you carry one of those selfie sticks now, you must be 100 years old, so even I don't carry one of those. No, we need to consider nominations for the award this year, and we don't have much time to do it, Andrew, is that right?
No, it is. It's before the next meeting. I mean, we're discussing it briefly before, saying perhaps it's easiest if we do it online, because if we start mentioning names here, and
yes.
someone doesn't get the award,
that's true.
you know.
Yes, no, I think
Very
good
true.
idea, but please just put on there if persons you think that we should consider.
reply to Andrew, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to Andrew, yes. And I'll read them. No. No, just to Andrew, yes, yeah, no.
Who got the last, say the last two, it was Jean Thomas.
The one before, the one before Jean
Kenny
Thomas
Girl.
was,
Kenny Girl.
No,
it was
That
Sue
was,
and
Oh, Sue and Dee Dave and Sue
Dave.
Horribin.
Yeah.
Horribin.
Yeah.
And the one before that, I think that was the last one that I presented. That was a lady,
Did you do the lady that did all the
Clark.
things?
The rival.
COVID things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Vicky Thomas.
Vicky Thomas.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we did
That-
Vicky,
that's
which was
the
a good
last-
one, yes,
yeah, that's the last one
Yes.
Oh yeah.
presented.
Before that we had the lady who did the rival, didn't it?
yes.
Yeah, so we need to say.
But no, if you
Rival lady.
look and let us know if there is anybody
Yeah.
Yeah.
that comes to mind, drop them through to Andrew.
I'll send out a reminder.
Yeah, but we'll then Andrew will post them round to everybody, and on that we need to then make a decision.
Should point out for reasons of the recording that there's no cash prize or anything involved. There it is, it's a certificate in a frame.
Yes.
So there's
It's great though.
Right, 13, 2025 event. Now, there was a note somewhere about, have we seen the accounts for the fete? Were there?
yes, I did circulate them a few months ago. I think there were still a few things
First
coming in.
meeting.
First meeting was
It,
something,
yeah.
It's
Yes.
quite a difficult one because you get money in and expenses before the end of one
Yep.
financial year.
Mm.
Most of it's in another financial year,
Yeah.
so you don't see it
Yep.
on one. But I mean the basic, I think the basic account is that it kind of washes its face and no more.
Right.
Mm.
It used to be that we ended it and we
We
then
would make a profit, but
and we'd
Everything's so
put it to a
expensive
local
now,
charity
isn't
or
it?
something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but
okay,
the
no,
costs,
good.
I mean the two
Yep.
particular costs. It's the additional toilets which we have to have,
Yes.
and the professional first aid,
Yeah.
and that really is where the profit used to be.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
taken
Good.
away.
Right. So 2025 events and
Yes.
future meetings.
Okay. So I talked to the ladies in the cafe about something maybe around Easter. Yeah, because they're just open and at that time there would be maybe just a little Easter egg hunt or something that we would set up at the village, so nothing major. But obviously the big event would be the fete in July.
What date have you got?
I'm proposing to do this on the 13th of July, which is a week before the summer holidays, as we usually do it.
Good.
And I'm
Because
happy to
Mark
help
from
you
the
with that.
cadets wants to know.
Yes.
They're getting booked up quite fast.
Yeah, I would like to circulate this ASAP.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
The big problem with the fete is that the middle field was empty last year. It was a big shame because what they call Marston
Yeah, Marston
Entertainment
didn't come again.
let me down for the third year running, and they're not coming again. Well, they never come anyway.
No.
They came once and they turned around on the morning. That was really helpful.
So this date of the 13th of July,
Well-
this is provisional.
Yeah, well, I would say
Yeah, that's Sunday we usually have.
it's the weekend before the summer holidays start.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
usually have
It's
it on.
because the other thing is checking with Whitfield, Temple, Yule, Walkham that they haven't got one
I
on.
can check that.
Welcome's will be on a Saturday, if they have one.
Okay, but we don't want to do. We always do that. We check
Yes.
to make sure there's no
I don't
clashes.
know when the seafront one is this year. The harbour one.
Regatta.
Regatta.
But I think
It's normally
I think it's usually in August, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
later.
July this
Yes,
year.
yes,
Yeah.
yep.
But I think this
But they usually have it in the summer holidays.
certainly based on the last 2 or 3 years, I think this thing stands alone.
That's what I
You
said.
know,
I'm really worried about Whitfield and Temple Ewell's Village
They
It's a
Fair.
bit like the beer festival at
They
the
tend
mill,
to
isn't
come,
it?
they tend to come to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that sounds
They
maybe.
come to
Just
us.
think about hours in the village.
But we do want to make sure that we haven't got a clash, that's all.
Yeah, Auckland will be on the Saturday because they're there Saturday this
Okay.
year. They have theirs on Saturdays.
But Whitfield and Temple Ewell has,
I would have, it's not on the,
They haven't announced theirs
yes,
yet.
so I would have to message them separately.
well, at some point. you
Yeah,
know,
I would really like
It's
to
a
set
good
a
idea
date
to
I
this
think,
month.
yes, we actually need to set our date. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'll lose the cadets if I don't get the dates.
Yes,
So
yeah, and the sooner we start doing things like that, we stand a chance of getting them.
they are quite
So
useful
no,
to know.
Christian, you're right. We
I think you could do with the meeting sooner rather than later. And one thing we found last year was
Yeah.
that we got the St John ambulance by the skin of our teeth. I think it was
Yeah, only because of
Christiane who,
cancellation.
Yeah.
And I begged.
yeah.
yeah, but that's why I'm saying
We're good at begging.
we need to have a date. We need to agree the date, and
So
at the
can't
moment the
The
13th is
yeah.
penciled in. I would suggest this week we need to make contact with
Yes.
the two other areas.
Whitfield
Yeah, and
Whitfield,
just yeah,
and Temple Ewell.
because Christian's right, we need it, and everyone's right. The sooner we start booking the
Yeah.
important bits and pieces, even things like the toilets, the further in advance we book them, the cheaper they are. Yes, yep,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll
good.
I'll-
So, are you happy with?
I do it.
Yeah, thank you.
I put
Yeah,
it on
sorry,
the group.
all falling onto you at the moment,
If,
yeah?
if that's fine, I put it on the group and we decided there.
That's
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah, oh,
We
yes.
don't need to wait a
And then
minute.
when we
No.
get to the plan bit, I am happy to support the
Thank you.
bulk of the
But we
actual
need
planning.
some kind of quick meeting maybe.
Can I ask, what is the reason for and future meetings? What is that all?
Well, anything else? Is it future meetings? We're talking of events. You said about Easter. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Well, I just thought that, again, sort of looking at meetings, I think my own feeling was that the meeting started a bit late
For
last
that- for
year.
the-
Oh, I
yes,
see.
yes,
Meetings
yes.
for that. Yeah, yeah,
Meetings
yeah.
for
Oh,
the-
yes.
yes,
No, I
that's
thought you
what
meant
we-
other
So
events.
we-
Yeah,
Trying to
yeah.
Yeah.
try and catch up
Yeah.
all the way through
Yes,
the year.
That's right.
Christian.
If you're free.
And I'd love to see us doing something for the Christmas tree again this year would be great. I know that's miles
Yes,
away.
yes, yes,
And I
yeah.
am keen to try and find a sponsor
That's all
for
the
the
whole
tree.
Yes,
of
yep,
January.
yep.
And pay for it. Yeah. But obviously that was a very last minute kind of event
Yes.
that was organised by the
Yeah, no, but
It's because they were leaving.
definitely
wasn't it? Yeah.
But the new
you go with the
cafe
Christmas
is
tree.
also-
Yeah, that's yes. Sorry, that's definitely yours. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They were there.
Just
People
on
would turn up for
just
it,
on
wouldn't they?
Christmas trees, how much do we normally pay for the Christmas tree? £250, is it? £250?
No, it's less.
235. I
Yeah.
think.
No, we delivery.
Well, just food for thought. Our son went out to what's the name of that place near Canterbury, on the outskirts of Bridge. There's a big Elizabethan sort of house there.
Watershire.
No,
No.
not Watershire.
No.
It's anyway. He got the most enormous tree, and in his house, 30. They were all being sold for 30 quid. Massive thing. It's something that's worth.
Is it near Simpson's Winery, that one there? When you go
There's a
along-
village just nearby.
Ah,
It's near Barham, yeah.
No. This is
Well,
Why did he
Yeah,
buy
it's a-
it then?
but we're leaving it to young Daniel there to
Okay.
find a sponsor for
Yeah,
a tree,
Try and
even
find a
cheaper.
sponsor for it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I would suggest you go to Auckland Valley.
I think Auckland Valley, the new Premier store,
Yes, but
he's very good.
yeah, could be some getting there in advance. We
He's
could
very
then
good.
potentially plan ahead.
Very
Yeah,
handy to
because he
actually
doesn't
get the cloth.
realise
So,
we
question.
exist. He
Yes.
doesn't know anything about the parish council. If you
Have
notice,
you got-
he got someone for the third, fourth choice from DDC.
We could have got
Never asked us.
No, but against
Yeah.
his opportunity there.
So,
Give it
get
a
him,
hand
yes,
shot,
yeah.
potentially next time.
We might like put an advert up for him.
I could
somewhere.
do
Yeah.
So for a
Sponsored by.
quick,
Sorry.
for a
Yeah.
quick events meeting, I could do next week Thursday or Friday or the following week. You like Thursday, Friday better?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
that not changed?
yeah,
Is that
Thursday,
changed?
Friday,
Yeah,
23rd,
that's good.
24th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friday 24th.
Friday,
maybe?
23rd
Oh,
or
What
24th.
time of the day? Daniel, you're working?
Yeah, I haven't got my work phone, I need to check my diary. Go ahead and then if I can come.
if you can put it round.
Yeah, but we haven't necessarily got to do it in daylight hours.
No.
We could have a meeting late. No, I'm just saying
Okay,
now.
yeah. If we did it
no, I
after-
get frustrated with my bowls couples. Everyone says, "Oh well, you know, we're all retired." And I say, "No, we're not." But I'm not. It's always a bone of contention. So, no, I think important that if necessary, we make it flexible, and we don't mind an evening meeting as opposed to an afternoon. Yes, and I'm just thinking it makes it much easier.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
fine,
yeah,
I'd love to
yeah.
attend
No, I want
so-
to involve you. Yeah, so, yes.
Friday the 24th.
The oak gets very busy and gets.
24th. You're looking worried.
If you can put that
Just need
round,
time.
please.
Time.
Friday 24th.
What time is that?
I'll be working at home on Friday, so by 5 o'clock I'd be
Alright.
locked off.
Should we say 5?
Yes, 1700. Yep. Okay.
And where?
As we were talking about future meetings, could we not, as ever been mentioned before, these meetings, could we not bring them forward half an hour to 7 o'clock at the start?
No reason why, as long as that's okay with the Methodist Church, not interfering with anything.
Would it be a hardship for councillors?
No, not for me. No, I come straight from the office here, so it's ideal.
I I don't
Yeah.
work in London on the day, I'm really so.
I mean, that's not a problem if we all did the same.
Where are we going to have that meeting?
Yes.
We,
Can you check if you can have it here or otherwise? Yeah. Another.
Well, let's just try it at 7 o'clock and see what people think about it.
the next
A
one,
couple of months.
Yeah.
we just kick off the next one at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You watch with all roll up later.
Just put
Yeah.
it in big letters when you put out the
I
agenda.
know, it's like.
Yeah.
All turn up at 7:30. Just Andrew
I
on his
saw that
own.
Colin.
For our socials again.
Yeah.
Put it in red or something like that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense though, doesn't it? Because
Could be our winter hours whilst it's dark.
yes, yeah.
Which is fab.
Okay, so good. So we've got Friday, then what Friday? Which was that? 24th. Yeah,
5 p.m.
yeah,
here, maybe.
yeah.
Possibly.
Okay, well you'll get a reminder because Andrew will drop something out just to confirm that it's on. But
No, it,
yeah,
it won't be super long. Just a quick one.
right. We come on to it. Are you okay there? I'm just looking at that time. It's nearly 9:15. Are you there? Are you there or?
I'm fine, yeah.
You're done. Right. 14, item 14, general correspondence.
Right, it's just this, I believe I sent it around to the original complaint that I got from a gentleman, usual problems, parking outside school. I've had a response from Dover Parking Services. I asked them just to confirm that we are on the list for visits, and we are. They originally said twice a month. They say at the moment we can say we will be patrolling all the schools in the district. It might not be twice a month, but it might also be more. So the other thing I asked them about was originally they used to publish when they,
Yeah.
but apparently the supervisor who was there retired and was practice went with her. So he's speaking to the IT team whether that can. Although I think they had a bad experience because I think that one stage they were publishing in advance. and a school published details on them. So,
Oh my gosh. So silly.
Yeah, wasn't good.
the other query I queried on them at the same time. I had a letter from another lady complaining about this. It's a van parked outside the new shop on the pavement.
Yeah.
His delivery van.
He didn't know which one to park, so he parked
Oh, it's
outside there.
pharmaceuticals for the.
Well, it's actually for the
yeah.
shop. I
Oh,
was
is
meant to
it?
couldn't get further along. And the lady said, well, can't he, can it be enforced or something like that? Well, actually, it can't. There's not a particular.
There's no WN
No.
As long as it's taxed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I mean, you could say it's obstruction, but that's a police thing, and the chances of it.
But he was actually making a delivery.
He was making delivery.
Well,
And there was room to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll go back to the lady
Yeah.
and say that.
I hope she doesn't use the shop where the deliveries are going to.
Probably do.
Yeah.
Probably does.
But
What I would like to
what
say.
how do they expect people to have supply?
It's tight around,
Yes.
isn't it? There is no delivery.
What I would like to say before we discuss this item, I think that Andrew has, on many occasions, but Andrew's response to this chap was right on the ball.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, he spelt it out there in a sort of a factual way,
Yeah.
and the only thing that has happened, of course, is they've talked about the lollipop person. There seems to be a lollipop person working out here now.
Well, there is there? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, I was told
Yellow
tonight.
coat and all the rest. Yeah. Presumably that's the school that's paying for her.
Well, we did speak to it. Or it was
We did.
something we did, and they
Yeah.
said
They were having trouble, but obviously
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
having
yeah.
some.
They've been having trouble for years. But the letter that Andrew has sent back to this chap is spot on, and I think he should be complimented for it.
You were when I came into the meeting, weren't you? I said to you it was a good letter. Yes, yeah. So well done, Andrew. Yes, yeah. It was good. It's for me. It's the frustration of having to say things that are fairly obvious, and we've tried and tried and tried. But I always say, go to any school in England, you know, in any country, but certainly here, you'll have that problem at any
It's the
school.
parents, isn't it? They
Yeah,
just
but
think
they've,
they
yes,
can't,
yeah.
they want
I
to.
mean, no longer do children have to walk to school or expected to walk to school. You know,
Well, they
so
can't.
yeah, no, I'm saying,
I've said this how many times now, that they're not even allowed by River Primary to walk to school
Yep.
before they're
Yep.
year 6.
yeah, but I'm saying that obviously it's changing times. And certainly when I was a youngster, everyone walked to school. Nobody, if anyone was taking their car.
No,
Yes,
car.
yeah, no, we
I
didn't.
did both, yeah.
But no, I say
And I know parents
it
do have to
needs
go to work.
sometimes spelling out, as Andrew did there, that we've tried everything,
Yeah.
and yeah, we will.
Start earlier, wouldn't they?
The school needs to do their bit as well, though, by communicating with
Awareness,
parents.
yeah.
It can't just all be.
They have
Yeah.
done frequently.
Yeah.
So
they do.
it's a joint effort, isn't it?
Mm.
You're never
Oh,
going to
yes.
change it. It's never
No.
going to
And
Also,
you're not
they
going to
before
change it.
certain
You're not.
time.
Yes, they'll
Yeah.
want to sign, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because
Actually,
you've got to get to work as well.
Actually, there was one last thing which I've forgotten of.
Oh,
this
right.
response, which he said to me. One last point, talking about the new parking restrictions that we had put in place.
Yeah.
The double yellow lines around the corner of Upper Common Lane and the change into the waiting times for the zigzags. One last point, all the new parking restrictions have had the desired effect. There seems to be one car that's always parking on the yellow lines, and I'm constantly sending officers to deal with, but overall I'm not getting anywhere near the complaints as I used to.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
good.
does
That's
seem
from the
to-
parking. Yeah, from yes,
From
the
the
enforcement. Yes, yeah, it's good.
There was just one thing that is always in the back of my mind, and that's when we had, as our district councillor here, what's his
Limer,
name? Jeff Limer.
Jeff Limer, yeah.
And he had an idea, and I remember going up Common Lane with him to look into this, and there was a field
Yeah,
up
they
there
wanted to change it to a car park.
that
didn't
was considered to be a car park, and for school teachers and assistants, because an awful lot of the parking problems along here are for the teachers and the assistants, and to do that, and he was very, very keen on that, and I could see the point, but presumably he tried.
they?
and
They
it-
did
Oh, he
work.
did, yes, he
They
did
needed
try,
to
yes,
see it,
and-
he tried a couple of times.
Yes, yep.
But now it's their school.
No. Right. Item 15. Nothing else anyone wants to bring up. Nothing else at the last minute.
No.
Thank you all. Sorry, it's 9:20, but it was quite an important one tonight,
Yeah,
and
it
certainly
is.
the precept we need to discuss it and
Yeah.
agree. And but we certainly take on board the need to make everyone more aware of what we're doing.
You're going to put it on